and welcome to Kids Can Play Tabletop Games Online. Episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about safety and privacy. My name is Deeth Elza. I am a digital services technician with the Richmond Public Library, and I'm so glad you could join us here today. So today we're going to talk about privacy and safety, and the first things I want to say are you deserve to be safe and you deserve to have your privacy respected. And I know it sounds obvious to say that, but there are lots of companies and a lot of people out there who don't believe that or honor that, and we need to take that into consideration. But you do deserve these. And it's also important to recognize that bad people exist in the world, people who will ruin your whole day or worse just because they think it's funny, just for a laugh. And so we need to take steps to avoid those people. And it's also important to recognize that sometimes we can hurt our friends without meaning to. And we can get caught up in the moment in a game and do something that can hurt someone else. And so we want to look at ways to avoid that as well. So the first step in staying safe online is make sure that your parents know what you're doing and with who, and that somebody, that you have somebody you can trust to turn to if anything goes badly, or to help you get things set up. And make sure that you're only playing with your friends, playing with people that you know from the real world, friends from school, friends, family, that are people that you know and trust offline that you're playing with online. And so we want to avoid bad experiences for everyone, and I'm going to talk about some safety tools to help with that, but a lot of it comes down to good communication, to being able to talk to each other. So the first thing I want to talk about is the X card. So the X card is a way to keep to make sure everyone feels safe, feels welcome, and feels respected in our game. And it really it's intended for games where we do play around a table, and so it's just an index card with an X drawn on it. And the main part of it is to introduce it at the beginning of your game, and to let people know that it's available. So I'm going to read the whole introduction to it, and then we'll talk a little bit about how it can be used online. So here's the introduction. I'd like your help to make this game fun for everyone. If anything makes anyone uncomfortable in any way, and here you would draw an X on an index card, just lift this card up or simply tap it, and then you would place it at the center of the table. You don't have to explain why. It doesn't matter why. When we lift or tap this card, we simply edit out anything X-carded, and if there's ever an issue, anyone can call for a break and we can talk privately. I know it sounds funny, but it will help us play amazing games together, and usually I'm the one who uses the X card to help take care of myself. Please help make this game fun for everyone. Thank you. So this is intended to be used around a table, but you can also say someone can type X card into the chat, or someone can just say, I tap the X card, and it can be used that way. The important thing here is this bit of communication at the beginning to say that if you ever feel uncomfortable, it's okay to say that you feel uncomfortable. We will respect that, and we will take that part out, and we will work with you. So knowing that you are welcome, that your needs are going to be respected, and that we want to make you feel included and to make you feel safe. These are the important things that we are communicated by this. Kiana Shaw has created a whole list of safe TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game safety tools, and all of them really come down to ways to communicate. It's all about communication and trust and respect, and being able to build those things. So there are a whole bunch of tools, including the X card, and this is a great resource. I'm going to put links to all of these in the description of this video. But again, communicate and be respectful. And you're you're going to get a long ways towards having a great game. If you have an older sibling or an adult who wants to learn more about keeping private online and making things safe, I really highly recommend A Smart Girl's Guide to Privacy. It is practical tips for staying safe online. It's not just for girls, but it does recognize that girls and women are targeted more online, and so they need to take even more steps to stay safe. But it has great tips for everyone for keeping safe and keeping your privacy online. So I really highly recommend that. You can get it you can buy it, or you can ask your library for it. It's I know that Richmond Public Library has copies, so please do, if you know somebody who wants to get more tools for staying online, this is a really great resource. So again, always ask a grown-up. If you want to search for resources online, if you want pictures for your game or maps or scenarios, get a grown-up to help you. Always use Safe Search. That's what it's there for, is to keep you safe. And but it's not perfect, so get it. Have a grown-up involved, and that can be fun. It can be fun to look through all of the, look for a great picture of an owl bear or something to use in your game, and to work together on creating some scenarios. If you do chat online, and that is the typical way to move a role-playing game from the tabletop to online, I really recommend a tool like Jitsi. And you can use Zoom if you are already familiar with it and you've used it before and like it. But if you're just looking for something, then Jitsi I like because it's open source. It does not save any information about you. It does not require you to create an account. All you have to do is create a meeting room. So you would say like Wednesday Dungeons and Dragons game. Something long is going to be better because it's harder for somebody to guess and try and what's called Zoom bombing, where somebody shows up who's not part of it. I'm going to show you some other tools to help prevent that, but starting off with a long game and a long name, and not this one because somebody could have seen this video and used it already. But I do need something. So whatever you type here, and then you can keep using that meeting too. Zoom meetings tend to be one-offs, one use, from a specific time to a specific time. But Jitsi meetings can be reused anytime people go to them. Here, now that I've put a name in for the meeting, it's asking me if it can use my camera and microphone, which since it wouldn't be able to do video chat without those, I'm going to say allow. All right, now it is asking me to put in a name. So this is not, I'm not signing in, this is not an account name. This is just the name that will be displayed for me. Now, one of the things about being safe online is never ever use your full real name. Sometimes you can get away with using your first name, although I really don't recommend it. Certainly with me, I have a very unique first name, so somebody could easily tell who I was offline by my first name. I like the idea of using an adjective like happy, fast, ferocious, and then your favorite animal. Water bear, aardvark, alligator, rhinoceros, puppy. So, happy puppy, fast alligator, whatever you want to use. We're playing role-playing games, so we could use our character's name as long as it can't be, it doesn't have anything to identify us, or a description of our character. So we could say Dwarven Barbarian, and then we'll click Join Meeting. Now, all you need now for your friends to join you in this video chat is this URL. It's meet.jit.c / the name of the room you're in. But before you send that to them, I want you to go down, and in the lower right-hand corner, there's this red shield. So click on that, and that brings up security options. And there are two. A lobby, if you enable that, no one can join the room until you okay them. Until the moderator, the person who creates the room, has to say, yes, you're allowed in the room. And so that can help prevent Zoom bombing, where somebody just shows up and tries to cause trouble. Mostly that's used for larger groups. You may not need that if you're just meeting with your friends, but I do always recommend that you add a password. So a good password has a lot of words, and at least 4 words. 4 random words is going to be a pretty good password. Don't use the password I just typed in because, again, somebody could have seen this video. It makes it easy to guess. Once you have added a password, then now you can share this URL with your friends, and you will also have to tell them the password. Make sure that you don't put the password anywhere public. Don't post it to social media. Don't put it on a poster in your school. Make sure that you communicate that password only to the people that you actually want to allow into the room. And again, if you have any doubts, always get a parent involved, and especially if you think anything has gone wrong. So if you think somebody may not be who they say they are, may not be somebody you know, if you think somebody's hacked your account, if you think somebody's posted something as you, always get a parent involved. Don't be embarrassed. Don't think you're going to get in trouble. The quicker you can get somebody to come in and help deal with it, the better. Don't try and deal with that on your own. That's a big, important part of staying safe. Yeah. So use a password. Don't use your real name. And that's true not just with Jitsi, but anything you do online. If you're online for any reason, don't use your real name. Don't sign up for things without your parents knowing. You can usually use their email with their permission to access things if you need to. Get their help for that. A few more tips, and these are especially for younger players, but not exclusively. When I'm going to say younger players, but things like keeping things from being too scary. I know plenty of adults who get creeped out by ghosts or by skeletons, and we want to take care of our players and make sure that they feel safe as people, regardless of what happens to the character in the game. We want the players to feel safe. So, especially with younger players, be careful not to make things too scary, especially the monsters. We don't have to have the scariest creatures in the world to make a game feel exciting. And so, make sure you are taking people's needs into account. And talk about expectations before the game. So, if characters can die in your game, like in Dungeons and Dragons, a character might die just from a few bad rolls. Talk about that with your players. If their character can die, what happens after that? Now, in role-playing games, it's a little different than like a board game. You're not out of the game if your character dies. You roll up a new character, and that character joins the party, and you keep going. But people also get very attached to their characters. And there are alternatives to killing off a character. You can have them get captured, and now they have to figure out how to escape from a prison cell. You can have them lose something important, their backpack full of gear or their magic sword, but not die. They can get knocked out. They can just be out of that combat for the rest of, but not die. And some games do this explicitly, where characters don't die. They just are. They've run away or they get knocked out, but they're not dead. They still carry on for the rest of the adventure. They're just out of that particular combat. and that is fine. What's important is to make sure that everyone is on board with whatever the rule is, and everyone, you have communicated the expectations and people know what to expect. And overall, talking to each other about what works well and what doesn't work well. Maybe have a bit of time at the end of every session so people can say, this worked really well, I liked this, I think we could, this could be better maybe. It's going to make the game better for everyone. And this works in life too. This is another, all of these things about communication and making people feel welcome and respected. These are great tools for life. It's just in games, when we create this fantasy world with really evil people and monsters, it's easy to go overboard. And it's easy to make a situation where people do not feel safe. And so we want to avoid anything that's going to make the actual players, the actual human beings at our table, uncomfortable. So make sure that they all feel respected and safe, and that their needs are being met. Then there's Rule 0. Rule 0 comes ahead of all of the other rules, and it's the goal of all of this. And that Rule 0 is to have fun. And so on that note, I am going to leave you with Rule 0 and say, go out, have fun, stay safe, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.